When a story is written, there has to be some key takeaway for the audience in order for the person to feel like they didn't just waste their time. For me, that was being able to drop a nuke on the spirit of a small girl for my own monetary and experiential gain. However, for sane people, you have to dig a lot deeper to find what makes this story impactful. And I think the easiest way to explain that buried secret is by delving into Giat's character development. At the beginning of the story, Giat is the person every kid aspires not to be. Obnoxious, a raging alcoholic, and for the most part just unfunny. Hold on. Wrong script, I was describing myself. At the beginning of the story, Giat is obnoxious, a raging alcoholic, and short, which is perfect for someone born to the dwarves. Their tradition of being mini alcohol addicts with beards goes back hundreds of years, which makes me beg the question, how is everyone so close to or even the same height? You'd have thought there'd be at least one G mutation that'd allow a dwarf to find a date on Tinder. Giat is considered the strongest warrior in the village of dwarves, and was given the task to slay Sofrazine to bring honor back to the good name of the little people. And of course, Giat is happy to oblige this request. Sofrazine, aka Lamit, is one of the so-called heroes who saved the world by defeating a great evil and then filled the world with eternal max brightness settings. Even worse is that a copy of her now roams the earth, reviving those like her. And get this, without a beard. I know, scary. Of course, Giat has no regard for any such dwarf. That would go against the holy scripture of Tamara. But of course, per typical Shadowbringers fashion, the villain ain't much of a villain. And I'll get to what that means once we've established a little bit more groundwork. To start the story, Giat needs the help of someone who is competent in the way of healing, so that way, they have someone to blame when they die to a single NPC. Being the all too altruistic healer we are, we help out. Our first mission together is to head out and kill some Sin Eaters in order to try and get our mark Lamit to come out and revive them. However, we are unable to spring our trap because our ability to see into the past by falling into a coma activates. God, this game's weird. Anyways, we get hit with a big question mark right away because the things that Giat had been told since birth were called into question. In this vision of the past, Lamit was being a good Samaritan and helping a boy in need, a person she didn't even know, like a good dwarf would and should. She was even wearing a helmet at the time, shockingly enough. A revelation that sends our story into the next arc and sends Giat into relapse. In this part of the story, we get hit with yet another confusion spell, this time in the deserts of Amaran. After Giat offers me a drink I decline due to my own recovering alcoholism, I meet with Giat again to find they've already taken down a Sin Eater. Giat implores me to cure this one myself and seems to have no effect. Not too surprising that the healing magic wouldn't work, considering Sin Eaters are kind of like zombies in that they're reanimated people and animals, so they're really not alive per se. But this begs the question, why can Sofrazine do it and I can't? And where is she? She seems uninterested in this one's death for some reason, and the only solution that comes to mind is that the location is the cause. Sofrazine also never showed up in Home to Switch either. When we head into the forest of Rak'Tika Greatwood, Lamit's story reaches a... Hold on. Giat is drinking again. It's literally every change of location. Giat just puts the Russians to shame. Jesus, man, we might as well just hook Giat up to a goddamn vodka IV drip. Maybe we'd save some time. Jesus, literally half the
Lamit's character arc reaches a near climax when we have our first direct encounter with her.
After which the Warrior of Light promptly passes out as we get a whiff of the sheer amount of alcohol on Giat's breath. And we see another vision of the past. In this one, Lamit finds a cure for her sister's illness after fighting an extremely arduous trial. All this fighting and all this trouble for a chance at a magics to save her sister. If I were Giat, I'd be in denial. I mean, it's a ridiculous notion that the hooligan who doomed the world to an eternal 4th of July celebration is an altruistic person? Next, you're going to tell me that she cured a huge population of the village of a blight that was basically full-body Viagra and stopped all future cases of it, and they exiled her for it.
Whisper.
Wait,
Whisper, whisper.
that actually happened?
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Why?
Whisper, whisper.
Why did they do that?
Whisper.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Fuck you.
Alright, well, my source is telling me that the elders of this village have a mental deficiency, and that actually did happen, so... Giat is hit with this information and is completely stunned. The senile boomers in this village straight up lied to Giat and built Lamit to be this horrible being that ever since birth had no goal but to ruin the good name of the dwarves. Ironically, her actions show that she is one of the greatest dwarves to have ever lived. I won't even blame Giat for drinking after this one. I'll even set up the IV drip for them, to be honest. What? Giat isn't drinking? This hammer-brained imbecile. Yep, game's still weird. How am I supposed to overuse jokes about alcohol addiction if you're not even drunk? Okay, well, cussing Giat out didn't fix the problem, but at least they're insulting my mother now, so that's good. Some of that may be accurate, but my mother was most definitely not a hobgoblin. Are you sure you ain't getting her confused with your own mother? There we go, we put some pep in his step. Having snapped Giat back to reality, we devise a plan to finally defeat Lamit. The plan, put simply, is that Lamit healed all the people of Stormblood, and at the time, they weren't wearing helmets because it was hot where they were locked away to die of Stormblood. Then she got fucked over by the people with the helmets. So now as a Sin Eater, her spirit is healing other Sin Eaters whom she remembers to be dwarves, specifically of the helmless variety. So what do we do now? We put helmets on all the Sin Eaters, including her. And so after hatching that plan, we lured out Safrazine and executed the plan perfectly without a single hiccup. And just kidding, of course that didn't happen. You can tell by the way the music is building. Perfect. Now, hold still. What's she doing? What the? That power level. Oof. Did he really just say oof? The helm got it even worse than I did just then, and it was our last one. I hate to say it, but this ain't going as well as I'd hoped. If we had even one more helm, I could try again, but... Ah, Giat! Giat is a girl, plot twist. I guess she's a country gal. Well, you know what? Actually, since she's revealed as a girl now... Well, looks like it's time to take this eater down once and for all. Together, let's go, brother. It's very easy to look at bad things that people have done and write that person off as an ill-willed person right away. But if there's anything Shadowbringers has taught me, it's that people are more complex than that. And sometimes good intentions can have bad results or require actions others might not understand or agree with. And looking at it at face value, even if there's someone who is now a literal monster, doesn't mean they always were one. So maybe the next time you feel it's time to kill the infidels, take a look from a new perspective. They may not be as different from you as you thought. As an exercise and such, take a look at this. See this side by side? That's definitely a male play dead emote. So that's a male model. And now you know. Every time you look into those big, yellow, adorable, and alcohol addicted eyes of hers, you'll think, she's got a dick. She's so cute. Take that, you pasty bastard.